Hello and welcome to the 2022-2023 MYRA Virtual Celebration. This is our announcement event where we will be talking about our winners that students in Minnesota have chosen for the 2022 MYRAs. Also, we'll be announcing our 2023 school year nominees for Hart, Lovelace, and Star of the North. I'm Josh Jackson, and I'm proud to be here as president of the MYRA Minnesota Youth Reading Awards. I want to just say thank you so much to all our students in Minnesota for voting this year. We're a little bit more normal this year with some of our schools, so it was great to see an increase in our votes. I want to also say thank you to all the members of the MYRA board who have been working hard behind the scenes to make this all happen, even in a virtual environment. And finally, of course, thank you to our mystery guests that you will be hearing from soon, authors and illustrators. And I will be back at the end, but as we watch our announcement video here, please make sure you comment in our Facebook feed. Anyone who comments by Sunday when this premieres at 11:59 will be entered to win a prize from MYRA, which would be a nominee of next year's or a nominee of this year's book of your choice. So please make sure you comment with us in the feed in Facebook here, and any board members will also be helping out as we go. Have a great time at our 2022-2023 MYRA announcement event.
Hello, I'm Laura Given, the Star of the North Award Chair. And this spring, thousands of young readers across Minnesota read and voted for their favorite Star of the North Award nominee. The votes are in, and I have the exciting job of announcing our 2 honor books and our winner for 2022. Our first honor book is Snail Crossing, written by Corey R. Tabor. Our second honor book is See the Cat, 3 stories about a dog, written by David La Rochelle, illustrated by Mike Winutka. And the winner of the Star of the North Award for 2022 is Friday Night WrestleFest, written by J.F. Fox and illustrated by Micah Player. Congratulations to our new Star of the North Award winner and honor books. Please mark your calendar for the first Saturday in November this fall and join us to celebrate our new winner and honor books at our MYRA Award presentation. And now it is time to announce our new Star of the North Award nominees for 2023. Congratulations to all the new Star of the North Award nominees for 2023. We have a tradition as part of this announcement event. We invite the authors and illustrators of the new nominees that have a Minnesota connection to be part of this event as a special mystery guest. I'm thrilled that we have so many fabulous books as new nominees that have Minnesota connections, and I'm even happier that those creators were able to join us today. Please enjoy meeting our special Star of the North mystery guests.
I want to thank you for nominating Begin with a B for a Star of the North Picture Book Award. I love the idea that so many people will be reading this book And it's an honor to be in the company of all the other great nominees, past and present, and winners of the award. The text of this book was a collaboration. 3 of us, all friends, writing together. I live in Minnesota. Jackie Briggs Martin lives in Iowa. Liza Ketchum lives in Massachusetts. And even though it was pre-pandemic, we found ourselves writing virtually, sometimes on FaceTime, sometimes on Zoom. And then a time came when we felt like we needed to be with each other. So we went on a little writing retreat at a cabin in Wisconsin. And we worked for several days to revise the manuscript, to make sure we had every word the way that we wanted. And then we sent it to our wonderful editor, Eric Anderson at the University of Minnesota Press. And he said yes, which was wonderful. We had worked together before on a different book, one that never did actually get published. And we loved collaborating. We loved what comes out of 3 different minds working together on the same story. And really all books, particularly picture books, all books are collaborations. So when we started thinking about this second collaboration, we all came to the idea of bees sort of by our individual paths. And for me, it was the fact that I love wildflowers, and I have a whole backyard of native wildflowers and love to sit out there and watch the bumblebees come and visit. I have never yet seen a rusty patch bumblebee, but I keep looking. And one reason I haven't seen one yet is that it is on the endangered species list in the United States. It is the first bee to be put on the endangered species list. It happened in 2017. There is a lot that's been written about why we need to protect honeybees and other pollinators, and we wanted to make sure that folks knew about bumblebees as important pollinators too. We also needed to learn a lot about the rusty patch bumblebee, and the more we learned, the more amazed we were and in love with the queen bee, because unlike honeybees, where the hive overwinters together, the queen too, at the end of the season of a bumblebee's colony, all the bumblebees, including this year's queen, die, except for next year's queen, which I'll tell you about in just a minute. So when she goes into the ground, this queen bumblebee, next year's queen, has everything in her tiny little body that she needs to start the colony. And she stays in the ground until spring. And then she comes out and it's all up to her. All by herself, she makes a nest, she builds a wax pot, she gathers pollen and nectar, she lays her eggs, she sits on them and shivers to keep them warm. And once they hatch, then those worker bees go out and start the job of gathering pollen and nectar. And the queen bee keeps making more eggs and more bees. At the end of the season, as I said, all bees die except next year's queen. After she's mated, she goes into the ground by herself, all the different potential queens, and waits for spring and comes out, and it all starts again. It begins with a single bee. Our amazing illustrator, Claudia McGehee, needed to figure out so much about the details, beautiful illustrations. How does the queen look? What does the nest look like? What are the stages of development? And she got so familiar with what a rusty patch bumblebee looks like that one day out in her yard, she thought, that bee looks familiar. And it was a rusty patch bumblebee, which was very exciting. So even though we say that the queen does all this by herself, people can help. This rusty patch bumblebee that was once widespread over the US and Canada now is found in 1/10 of 1% of its original range. And so there's a lot we can do, and we talk about that in the back matter, protecting habitat, avoiding pesticides, planting native flowers, even on an apartment balcony to help the bees out, leaving places in our yards for the bees to overwinter. We can get involved in advocacy and citizen science programs. And we talk about all that in the back matter of the book because we want people to have a way to do something active to help the bees. So what we hope for the book is that people will get to know and admire and advocate for protecting rusty patch bumblebees and all bees. Because one of the things we learned as we worked on this book is that we are all connected. We learn that every day, I think, but this book really brought it home, to me at least. Bees, flowers, soil, fungi, plants, other animals, the foods we eat, people, we all are connected and we need each other. So thank you for honoring Begin with a Bee. I hope you all enjoy reading it. And maybe you will be lucky enough to see a rusty patch bumblebee yourself. I'm going to keep looking for one this summer and also doing everything I can to help protect bees. All of us who helped put this book into your hands hope that you do too. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Maylena Mungle, and I'm the author of Jaden's Impossible Garden. Thank you for nominating Jaden's Impossible Garden to be a Star of the North book. I'm thrilled that young readers across Minnesota will have a chance to read it, along with so many other engaging books. Jaden's Impossible Garden first began a long time ago, one warm spring evening. Like many of my stories, it started with a sound that intrigued me. My husband and I were on a walk in the neighborhood, and I kept hearing it. I'd stop and listen. My husband didn't hear it, but to me it was quite audible. And I thought, if I were a little kid, I would think that that was the sound of spring nights. I started investigating and researching and trying to find out what was it that I was hearing. I found out later it was the sound of worms. And though they don't make it into the final version of the story, I started writing and writing different versions of a story of children exploring the nature around them. As an elementary school librarian, I just didn't see any books with kids who looked like me in them engaging in nature. I thought of my childhood and how my brothers and my sister and I were always outside. First, when we lived out closer to the woods, and then when we moved into the city. And I wanted to see that reflected in a book. But I also know that a lot of families are really busy and home situations are so different. Kids aren't always able to be outside as much as they'd like. And there's also the idea that you have to be outside in the middle of the woods in order to appreciate nature, which is just not how a lot of us live. Many of us live in the middle of the city. So that's how my story started. I wanted to show how adults can get bogged down in all that they have to do and the restrictions that they may have, but how young people can also help them rekindle those connections to nature and to imaginative play as well. When I was a kid, we built forts out of whatever we had around us, and I thought that would be neat to see in a book as well. I wanted Jaden to inspire young readers with his love of nature, but I also wanted him to be inspired by the books that he reads and to enjoy fantasy nature play. I realized after writing several drafts that I had a couple of stories. One had more nature objects in it. One focused on art, and another version involved gardening. I love to garden, and somehow seeds kept cropping up in my manuscript. You can see which version won out in the end. The manuscript I ended up with actually won a contest, the first annual African American Voices in Children's Literature contest, sponsored by Strive Publishing and Free Spirit Publishing. So if you hear of a writing contest that sounds interesting to you, enter it. You'll get some fun practice, and you just might win. When you can envision it, you can do it. If you can see it in your mind, you can do it or make it. Even things that were impossible can be done. Impossible can simply mean I don't have enough time, or there's not enough space, or I don't have the supplies. But when you let your mind see what it wants to do, It opens up the door to real possibility. Jaden wants his mother to see the beauty of nature in the city. When he joins forces with an elderly neighbor, who knows what will happen? Maybe nature will show them and us what's possible. Enjoy reading all of the Star of the North books, and happy spring.
Bonjour, Anine. My name is Denise Lajmadir, and I am the author of Josie Dances. I am an enrolled member of the Turtle Mountain Band of Ojibwe in north central North Dakota.
Hi, I'm Angie Erdrich, and I'm from Minnesota. I'm also an enrolled member of the Turtle Mountain Band of Ojibwe. Denise and I are longtime friends, and I illustrated her book. What would you like children and librarians to know about the book, Denise?
The book is based on a story from my daughter when she was 5 years old. And so Josie, she's a fancy shawl dancer. And in the book, Josie wants to have a ceremony where she's introduced into the powwow circle. That used to be done a while back, and sometimes it's still done. But she needs her outfit. She needs moccasins, she needs a shawl, she needs a cape, her dress. So she goes around and she asks her mom, her auntie, her grandma to make those items that she needs for when she has her ceremony at the end of, or within about a year, it takes them to make it. She also needs what we call a spirit name. It's a name that would allow her the right to wear an eagle plume. So she goes and gives a sema, or tobacco, to Grandma Greatwalker. And Grandma Greatwalker really did name my daughter and myself a while back. So the family let me use the family name. So is her outfit ready for the powwow? Will it be ready in time? Well, you're going to have to read the book to see how it turns out. So Angie did the most spectacular illustrations in watercolor, and she was going to talk about that. But we went to powwows all over Minnesota and North Dakota looking at outfits and how the shawl fringe moves and so on. So I'll let Angie talk about her beautiful work.
Thank you, Denise, and the Minnesota Historical Society Press. I was so honored to be able to illustrate this book, and it's done in watercolor. I brought a few of the watercolor paintings here, the originals here. And a few things that I'd like children to know about this book is that it's set in North Dakota, and Denise and I tried to put in very authentic animals and plants and authentic beadwork and powwow outfits. But particularly, I know kids like hide and seek things, so I put several animals in here that are from North Dakota, and some of them are hiding, so maybe your teachers could help you identify this bird here and some of these other animals. Got a salamander, a turtle, a dragonfly, a frog, liatris flower, goldenrod, purple coneflower, a swallow, and a bittern, which is a bird that hides in the reeds, and an eagle.
And
then my dog.
Sitting right over there.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll come over.
When Grandma Greatwalker's having her dream, she's dreaming of animals that are native to this area and deciding which animal would be maybe become part of Josie's name. One of my favorite birds, which I used to see up at Turtle Mountain when I was living on the reservation there, you could really spot a lot of wildlife in the area, and even here in Minneapolis I like to spot these birds, the Baltimore Oriole, and these are Juneberries, which are a native plant that I like to promote because it's an ecological plant to grow, and it feeds caterpillars, which later feed the insects, which is part of the ecology and the circle of life. These are some actual, this is actually Denise at the sewing machine. She let me take her picture, and some moccasins that she loaned me for my kids that we put into
Josie's
yeah,
moccasins.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's my beadwork, and so we would just collaborated a lot on which should grandma be wearing, or what should the aunties wear. We'll put them in ribbon skirts, so we had a lot of fun. That's my
picture
beadwork.
of her beadwork when she was picking Juneberries a couple of years ago. Her beadwork that she's wearing. Some of the art is from, I reproduced paintings that my mother did, and some artist Judy Azure from Turtle Mountain, and Curtis LaRock, and I kind of just tried to include authentic pieces in there.
And this is an actual cradle board, Tiknoggin.
Oh yeah, that is Denise's amazing,
Josie
beautiful,
was in.
beautiful cradle board. We have paintings that we based on powwow dancers, different types of powwow dancers, which I think would be great for a teacher to go through with kids and determine which type of dancer they are.
And that's me there. She painted me in. Yay!
That's a painting of the author. Oops. This is a painting that's a picture of my grandfather, Patrick Gorno, who used to be the tribal chairman at Turtle Mountain in the 1950s. And really importantly, I wanted to mention that this famous Minnesotan, Emmett, his many lightning Eastmans, allowed me to and gave me permission to put his image in the book. And he has since passed, but he's a wonderful elder who is well-known powwow dancer and marathon runner, internationally known marathon runner. And he welcomes Josie into the powwow arena. And his beadwork always had lightnings on it because he was a descendant of his many lightnings, who is a famous Minnesotan, or a famous ancestor from the Minnesota, Minneapolis area. And then the final pages also, we wanted to reflect the colors of her beadwork in the eagle at the very end.
Very shawl fringe.
Yeah. So thank you for reading our book. We're really proud of it, and because we're friends, this even brought us closer together.
Yeah. Enjoy the story. Language. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Hura Ibrahim. I am the author of What Colors My Hijab. I want to thank the Minnesota Youth Reading Awards for recognizing my book as a nominee for this most prestigious award. I'm going to share the inspiration behind my book, but first, a little about me. I am a Somali American. I teach diversity and social justice at the St. Cloud Technical and Community College, and I'm also a DEI consultant. I do not have any children of my own, but a few years ago, my niece posed a question that really got me thinking. She said, "Auntie, how come I don't see characters that look like me in the books I read?" And her mother and I looked at each other at that time, and we were like, gosh, what can we do about this? And so my sister said, well, you're the writer in the family, so you figured it out. And so I basically came up with a story that features Muslim women wearing their beautifully colored hijabs and talking about their professions. And so this story is great for toddlers who are just learning their colors, and for kindergartners through second grade or even third graders who are being introduced to careers for the first time. I am so proud to have written a story both for the Muslim community to embrace and that satisfies the curiosity of the wider American society that wonders how much Muslim women can actually do, even pushing the limits of what they thought Muslim women could do. And so I see this book as an educational tool, and I want little kids of all faiths, all cultures, and all backgrounds to know something about why their friends are wearing the headscarf. If we teach kids about diversity when they are very young, I believe that by the time they get to college, they will see others as same rather than different. And we need to help children see themselves reflected in the literature that they are reading. And so thank you very much. I appreciate you all. Have a good day.
Please stay with us to hear about the winners and honor books for the Hart Lovelace Award, along with the new nominees for the Hart Lovelace Award for 2023, and even more mystery guests.
Hello, I'm Anna Zabatnik, and I'm the selection chair for the Hart Lovelace Book Awards. I'm thrilled to be here today to announce our winners for Hart Lovelace and share next year's nominees. Readers all over the state read our nominees, and over 13,000 youth voted for our 2022 Maud Hart Lovelace winners and honor books. In Division 1, our honor books are awarded to Blended by Sharon Draper and Max and the Midnights by Lincoln Pierce. In Division 2, our honor books this year are Blended by Sharon Draper. Congrats on a second honor this year. And The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise by Dan Guyman Hart. Congratulations to our honor winners. And now, the winner of the 2022 Maud Hart Lovelace Book Award in both Division 1 and 2 this year is When Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jameson and Omar Muhammad. Congratulations. Thank you to all of the authors, teachers, librarians, and parents that helped our students connect with our nominees over the last year. Most importantly, thank you to all of our youth readers that voted. It is great to have so many youth connect with great books. And congratulations to all of our winners and honor books. And now, I'm excited to share our new nominees for 2023. Get ready to start reading Minnesota Kids.
Bonjour. My name is Margie Price, and you can stop now, LaRouge. That was a little red squirrel, Jean-Pierre Petit LaRouge, who is so very excited that our book, The Littlest Voyageur, has been nominated for a Maud Hart Lovelace Award. C'est magnifique! The Littlest Voyageur, with pictures by Cheryl Pilgrim and published by Margaret Ferguson Books, concerns a little red squirrel, Jean-Pierre Petit LaRouge, who, longing for adventure, stows away in a voyageur canoe. It doesn't go well.
The other voyageurs are not fond of the squirrel. After all, he rides, but he doesn't paddle. He eats, but he doesn't cook. At the portages, he doesn't carry anything. Instead, he's carried. And he has a terrible singing voice. LaRouge manages to hang on all the way to the trading post, where he faces an ethical dilemma. The voyageurs are trading for the furs of his brethren. What will he do? Their loud chirr is one of the things I love about red squirrels. To me, it's the sound of the North Country. Red squirrels are loud, fierce, bold, and really confident for a creature that weighs less than a candy bar. Fortunately for me, while I was writing this story, there was a nest of red squirrel babies in a tree in my backyard, so I got to watch them a lot. Have you figured out how many babies there are yet? In addition to squirrels, I love traveling by canoe in the wild North Country, just like the voyageurs. I agree with our little hero, Jean-Pierre Petit-LaRouge, who describes it this way. Some days the wind howls out of the north, cold and bitter. There are cool days and days of driving rain. On warm days, the air is fragrant with pine. There are days of fog and days of dazzling sunlight. They are all good days. LaRouge and I are delighted by this honor and would like to say merci beaucoup.
Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Ansari, and I wanted to take a moment to thank everyone involved in curating this year's list for the Maud Hart Lovelace Award and including the missing piece of Charlie O'Reilly in your consideration. My sons are all born and bred Minnesotans. They have been part of this process as readers for years. They have always taken it very seriously, very responsibly. They have wanted to read widely in the list so that they can be the most educated voters that they can be. And to now be a part of that from the other side of the equation as one of the authors is truly a dream come true. So thank you so much for including the missing piece of Charlie O'Reilly. And I look forward to whatever happens in the future. And I am so honored to be on a list with so many fantastic writers who are hopefully as elated as I am in being part of this. Thank you so much.
We hope all of you will keep reading and will vote next year. Please join us in the fall for our awards ceremony to honor our winners. See you later.
Hello again and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us for our 2022-2023 MYRA virtual announcement party. I hope you had a blast listening to how the students voted for the 2022 nominees. We will be back in the fall in our November event to celebrate those winning authors and illustrators. Be sure to look on our website, myrahome.org, for more information about that as it becomes closer to November. And of course, I hope that you're as pumped as I am to learn about the 2023 nominees for Maud Hart Lovelace and Star of the North. If you're an educator or a public librarian, make sure that you renew your membership after May 1st. That's when our new year will begin with MYRA, and you'll be able to get some goodies in the summer for our new nominees. And finally, if you're watching this live, make sure that you comment in the Facebook feed. You have until Sunday at 11:59 p.m. to comment to win 6 of our different nominees of this year or next year. You get to pick. You'll get one of those. There'd be 6 winners total. So make sure that you're interacting with us, and board members have been answering your questions too if they came up. I hope you have a great day, and I'll be on the lookout for some neat things that you are all saying for our winning authors, illustrators, and our new nominees. Have a great one.